Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It's been a while, but I'm finally going on a trip. Going to spend 10 days in outback Queensland chasing a bunch of different reptiles. But in this specific episode, we will be just focusing on 3 nights in the Brigalow, chasing geckos mostly, the 3 subspecies of golden tail, Nephris asper, the rough-knobbed tail gecko, rough-throated leaf-tailed geckos, and a few other cool reptiles in the Brigalow region. We are just on the Queensland border now. We've had a pretty hectic drive up. It's just been pouring rain. We had to drive through fog and didn't see any reptiles, but we did see about 100 magpie geese all in a soccer field, and it was pretty incredible to see. But really good to be back in outback Queensland. Hi everyone, just a bit of an update. It's been a few hours since you last saw me, but we had just a shit day after that last update. We drove just north of the border and of course flooded road, so we had to backtrack an hour and 20 minutes all the way back south to go back north in another road that was open. So now we're in St. George. We're trying to get further north to find golden tails, and of course that's flooded as well, so we can't actually go to spots where I know there's golden tail geckos and there's the right habitat for them. So I think we're just going to drive as far north as we can, like as it's safe to do so, and try to get lucky, maybe find some habitat and walk around and see if we can eye shine some in the Brigalow trees. So yeah, it's a bit disappointing to be honest, and we don't really know what the go is tomorrow morning. So we really need to see the other 2 subspecies of golden tail. So we got to go further north again. So a lot of planning to do, but alas, we're still going to go herping, and hopefully we get some cool stuff. Long story short, we cannot get to any habitat where there's some golden-tailed geckos. But finally, we've got a reptile. This is a Devis banded snake. Nice adult. And I thought out of every single species of snake, we would see one of these guys today, because it's raining. And the frogs, as you can hear behind me, are going ballistic. Far out. I'm actually just so happy just to see a reptile. I'm so shattered and tired and pretty disheartened. Unfortunately, I think I'm just going to have to call it a night, and it was definitely mission failed for the golden-tailed geckos. Well, the first subspecies of golden-tailed gecko. The weather was just so against us. So I'm just going to go for a quick walk, see if I can find and showcase a couple of frogs. We've been seeing hundreds and hundreds on the road, but we were just so stressed about trying to find a spot to find golden tails that we weren't really going to stop for every single one. So hopefully I can come across some cool Brigalow frogs for you before I go to bed. Here's one of the first frog species. I believe it might be an ornate burrowing frog. I'm not too sure. I will put the ID up on screen. But there's just a puddle on the side of the footpath here, and I can hear a few different species calling, especially a green tree frog. They're pretty unique with their call. So hopefully we can find some more frogs. Here in this tree we have a beautiful green tree frog calling. You can see his throat's a bit inflated. It's from his big bellowing call he's been throwing out across his pond. One of Australia's most common frogs, and also one of Australia's largest frogs. And how cool is that? We've got some spawning action from these frogs. And then another male calling just there. Pretty interesting. So they're in amplexus. So what the female is doing is laying the eggs, and the male fertilizes them as the female lays them. It's pretty cool. Amy just spotted this crucifix frog. They are my favourite frog species in the whole country. He's blown up like a balloon to act all defensive. They're also called the Holy Cross frog due to the pattern, although he's not a very colourful one. They eat like flying insects and like small ants and things. They're not very mobile, as you can tell, but they burrow into the ground and they wait for periods of really wet periods to come out and eat and breed. And their call is, again, one of the best frog calls in the country. They make like a whoop noise. But how cool is that? Right next to our car. And this will probably be the last frog of the night. But this is a desert tree frog, Olitoria rubella. And another really widespread frog throughout arid Australia. They're also called the red tree frog. I don't know too much about frogs, but when it rains in the arid parts of Australia, you kind of got to make the most of it sometimes. Anyway, I'll probably see you guys in the morning. Morning everyone, it is another morning in the Brigalow, or the first morning on the Brigalow, and we're just trying to have a look at the culprit last night, which really stopped us from getting golden tail gecko. This big body of water. We've had so much rain over just yesterday, and it's really making it hard. But just wanted to show another thing. The reason why I was so stressed about getting to some good habitat is all this farmland was once Brigalow, and once upon a time, like, you know, golden tails and Woma pythons would have lived all throughout here. But over time, us as humans have just destroyed their habitat, and the Brigalow has a very, very, very bad case of habitat destruction, and that's why they have so many threatened species. Like, you got the Woma python, I know golden tails are kind of on that list. You got yakka skinks, you got rufous bettongs, you got many other species that call the Brigalow home, and just to see like how fragmented it is just goes to show how dire the situation is. So I just wanted to put that out there, and hopefully over time more national parks pop up and we can start saving some habitat. Okay everyone, so we are now further north. We're kind of in like more of the central regions of the Brigalow, and I'm just walking around the bush scouting out some habitat for our target species for tonight, which is the bar-tailed gecko, the central golden-tailed gecko. It's the Strophrus tenicorda triurius, and this is a species that I really want to see personally because I've kept the species for many years. But at the moment I'm just walking around seeing if I could find something. It's pretty warm, so I don't think I will. And then familiarize myself with the area before we hit it tonight. So I might walk around for 20 minutes and then I will jump in the car and hopefully go to some areas where ornamental snakes have been spotted. And it's just some old records. So I'm going to go to a couple pins where the species been seen previously, and it's semi nearby. So I think I might, depending how quickly I get the geckos, we might go see them tonight, but see how we go. Okay, it's been a while since the last update, but we went and looked at some areas for possible ornamental snakes. We have found this one pond that might be like worth having a look at. They should be similar to the Viz banded snakes, they're close relative, so maybe tonight we might have a look. But the sun's setting, it's really humid and warm. It feels perfect for reptile activity, so fingers crossed we come across some things tonight and have a better night than last night. First find of the night. Beautiful Paraderma orientalis, or the Brigalow scalyfoot. Super stoked. I'm definitely going to get some photos of him. How cool is that? This species is in a monotypic genus. So that means they're the only species in that genus. And they are relatively common in the Brigalow. They're only found here in the Brigalow region of Queensland. And they eat everything from like insects. They've even been seen eating tree sap from a tree. So they definitely have a sweet tooth. But I'm pretty excited. It's been quite a few years since I've seen this species. So good. Brigalow scalyfoot number 2 for the night. This is a bit of a smaller one. Sorry, lighting's terrible. Bit of a smaller specimen. I think we're going to start to head to some nice habitat and eye shine for these golden tails. But still pretty cool. Okay, so we're back in the habitat that we were looking at earlier. So we're going to try to walk around and eye shine some geckos. Fingers crossed. First gecko of the night, and we're off with a bang. We've got our target stroph tonight. So this is Strophrus tenicorda triurius, or the central golden-tailed gecko, or bar-tailed gecko. And they're different to the regular golden tails because that stripe is very straight, and you get these black and white, like kind of like pianos. Looks like a piano, and it goes down its tail either side of that gold, and the dots are more like a Dalmatian, where it's just like little dots everywhere instead of like a mosaic of black and white like the other subspecies. And unbelievable animal. They are easily one of the prettiest lizards in Australia. There's not much that beats a golden-tailed gecko. And like other Strophrus, they can squirt a sticky fluid from that beautiful tail. And they also open their mouth and they've got this really deep dark blue colour. It's very threatening if they are very, very threatened. But normally, they just sit on sticks like this. And if they see a predator or something, they'll just shimmy around the stick and you'll never see them. And they also, another really cool fact, most Strophrus can actually bask in the sun, and they actually have a black lining underneath their skin, unlike other geckos, that can protect their organs from UV radiation. And that is another awesome adaptation for these animals. I have such a big passion for golden-tailed geckos. I keep this subspecies at home and have done for many years, and I love them to bits. And to see them in the wild is definitely a dream come true. Alright, this is the second gecko of the night. It is an eastern stone gecko, little baby one or juvenile. They're very widespread throughout eastern Australia and are also called the wood gecko. You can also find these in small shrubs. You might have seen in a video from last season that I actually got to see them in small shrubs in Western New South Wales. But I love Diplodactylus. They're a pretty underrated genus of gecko. So charismatic. What a good night so far. We just got our second Triarius of the night in situ. How cool is that? They are just stunning geckos hanging out on the twigs, hunting insects. So cool. And in here, number 3. You can really see that gorgeous pattern if the phone wants to focus. It's a bit windy, so it's blowing the branch around. Wow, this is so much fun. And right here is the reason why I wanted to come up to the northern Brigalow. This is Nephris asper, the prickly knobtail gecko. Only a young one, but I am so stoked. You can hear it in my voice. I'm so excited. My goal is to tick off all the knobtail gecko species, and this is one step closer. Oh man, I'm so friggin' pumped. They're just like Amie and Shai and Eromanga. They've got that little knob on the end of the tail, which is why they're called the knobtail gecko. But that is awesome. What a night. I'm so happy right now. So I'm still just so excited, and we finished photographing now, and I can tell you a bit more about them. So rough knobtail geckos, they really love rocky environments, but it is really weird to see a rough knobtail in this kind of habitat, in a bit more of a brigalow habitat. Up north, they get these really beautiful bands, and they're like really black and white. Down here, they're a bit more just a charcoal color. And they recently, like a couple of years ago, got split from the Eromanga knobtail gecko. So they were once thought to be one species, and then scientists have done genetics and a bunch of other different things to kind of determine that they're two different species, and the barrier that separates the two species is actually the black soil, and this is not the right habitat for either species, and they're distinct enough where scientists wanted to work on them. So rough knobtail geckos like Amie, Shai, Eromanga, they all look very similar. They've all got that really big head and this tiny little tail, and scientists still haven't really determined why they have this tail. If it's a display thing, if it's even just communication. A lot of lizards wiggle their tail to communicate with each other. No one really knows the true reason. It could even just be camouflage. They do have these little spikes all over their body to make them look more like a rock, and they basically are just a little rock with legs. They are my favourite group of geckos, my favourite group of lizards, along with Strophorus, and I just can't believe I have one in front of me right now. So we just found that prickly knobtail gecko. I turned around and this thing's just laying out in ambush. What the hell? Oh, my filming's terrible. Coastal carpet python out in ambush. Look at the colours on it. What the actual hell? No way. That is incredible. Alright, he's starting to cruise off now, but we had to get a photo of him while he was still sitting down. So coastal carpet pythons are found from northern New South Wales all the way up to Cairns. Depending who you talk to, like there are subspecies, there are race. They do naturally integrate with the other localities or subspecies. They can get pretty large. They can get over 3 meters, maybe 3.5 meters long. Out here hunting all these different mammals at this size. This is my first Brigalow carpet. What a pleasant surprise. We're on our way. We've finished with looking for geckos. We're going to try to see if we can find an ornamental snake and come across this good sized boiga. And again, it's been years since I've seen a boiga. There are only boiga species in Australia, although they are highly invasive on the island of Guam, where they're resulting in the extinction of many birds. How awesome is this? So good. Okay, so we've made it to the pond. I'm just going to have a quick poke around here for ornamental snakes, possibly. I don't even know if they're even out here. And then we might wrap up the night. So fingers crossed to get one now. If not, I'll see you tomorrow morning. Morning everyone. We got up early this morning and we're just deciding to drive to Rockhampton. Gonna maybe try to target some frill necks and different lizard species in the daytime. But we just left town and unfortunately there's something hit on the road. I thought we were in the range of them. That is a big black-headed python. Far out, damn it. This is one of the biggest targets of the trip. What a shame. Okay, so after that rain shower, we've driven to a creek, and there's like a nice little walk that goes along the creek. So we're gonna walk around, see if we can't spot a frill neck just on a tree. Also, the creek is crystal clear, so it'd be cool to see some turtle species in here too. You never know what we can see. But we will have a quick walk and then we'll get back on the road, see if we can't find a frilly while the conditions are actually very good for them. And then after that, we're going to head back out west to hopefully find the gecko targets for the night. We've just come across this little wallaby species. I'm sure I'll ID it and put it on the screen. Pretty cute. Okay, so it's been a few hours now since our last update. Unfortunately, we did not find any frill neck lizards. Conditions looked very promising, but just no lizards showed up on the road. So now we are further west, gonna target a whole bunch of different gecko species, and if we find them very quickly, then we might go target some snakes, like ornamental snakes again. And yeah, Amy's just cooking dinner now, and we should go out and scout out some habitat. We need to scout out some nice rubbly stuff for the asper, and it's some nice big boulders for the salabrosis tonight. So pretty excited and keen to get on the road.
Sense of time, I came back with a message in my soul that words can't describe, but I got.
First find of the night is a box pattern gecko. Not the stroff we're after, but I do want to find one of these and photograph one. But this one just has a regenerated tail, so I'm gonna let him go and keep cruising for some stroffs. But at least geckos are moving. Second find is this Burton's legless lizard shooting off the road. I won't bother him for too long because we've got geckos to find, but pretty much every single night in outback Australia starts off with one of these. And we've finally done it. Strophrus taenicorda albicularis, the green-eyed golden-tailed gecko. So stoked, man. Hell yes. I'm so excited. Gonna get him off and get some photos. Now that he's off the road, you can really have a good look at him. I've got that beautiful mosaic pattern down his tail. And those eyes. Those eyes are where they get the other name, the green-eyed golden tail. And they really do have green eyes. Such a spectacular lizard. This is the third and final subspecies of golden-tailed gecko that I needed to see. Back when I first started the channel, we saw the regular golden tails, last night, the bar-tailed gecko or central golden-tailed gecko, and now the green-eyed golden-tailed gecko. So good. I'm so friggin' excited right now.
Let you know you would not believe what has happened to me. You would not believe what my eyes have seen.
First snake of the night, red-naped snake, Furina diadema. They're very small snakes, but they feed pretty much exclusively on lizards. Pretty beautiful little snake. It's good to finally start seeing reptiles. Ew!
Oh my goodness.
I called this as a Burton's legless lizard. This is Attribution maculosa, or the spotted python. My first ever time seeing this species. This is a species I've wanted to see for a very long time. Even though this guy's not showing it, they are the largest Attribution species. Widespread along Queensland, and they only just scrape into New South Wales in some particular areas. But this is so exciting. I thought they were in the area, and my suspicions were correct. Look at that beautiful patterning down its back. Man, what a gorgeous snake. I am so excited. Woohoo!
You would not believe what has happened to me. No, you wouldn't, baby. Nothing worthy to hold. Broken materials scattered all over the bedroom floor.
So we've moved up from the lower Brigalow country into these big boulders to hopefully find Saltuarius salabrosus, the rough-throat leaf-tailed gecko. Wish us luck. Oh well, that took all of 5 minutes to get my first Saltuarius salabrosus on a tree, which is not really what I was expecting. But this is only a little juvenile. They can get a lot bigger than this. So I might leave him be and hopefully come across a big adult. So good though, that's a big tick for me. And literally, I was just walking off from the other one and I just got my first adult salabrosus. Now these are the longest gecko species in Australia. I'm pretty sure I think they are tied with the cornutus, the northern leaf-tailed gecko. And obviously this one has a regenerated tail. But how good is that camouflage? Just looks like lichen on a rock. Absolutely incredible creatures. This is my 5th species of Saltuarius now. I saw Swaney, the southern leaf-tailed gecko, off camera when I was just doing a family trip to the Gold Coast. So I didn't film any of that. But how cool is this? What a good gecko. And how good is this? This is a massive adult salabrosus. Original tail. Just crawling along the ground. What a stunning specimen. And it is absolutely massive. Unbelievable. Wow. That's cool.
We play the victim, we want some more.
And another awesome little gecko for the night. I will do a Tyrani. We've seen them before at Girrawee National Park. They seem to live in the exact same environment as these leaf-tail geckos. Beautiful little geckos. Only a juvenile, that one. They can get a bit bigger than that. See you, little guy. Just cruising a bit to a higher altitude, and this little boiga's just crossing the road. How cool's that? Such a vibrant colour at that age. Look at it go. That's sick. We just got our second spotted python for the night. A bit larger, this one, but it also has a massive feed in that belly. Still such a beautiful snake. Look at the iridescence off the scales. Wow. What a crazy good night. We aren't gonna bother with Asper anymore. I think we're gonna try our luck road cruising for some pythons, especially blackheads, because it's cooled down a lot more now. So hopefully it'll encourage things to come onto the road. But still, super cool. Here we go, little dragon on the road. Looks to be a Tommy Roundhead. Just warming up on the road at night. What a beautiful dragon though. This is the first time I've ever seen this species. That's really cool. Okay, so obviously this is not West Queensland, but I forgot to film an outro to this episode, and then over the next couple episodes I didn't film any intros and outros just because I didn't know when I would do certain episodes until after the trip. But this is the end of the first episode of the series. As I said, there'll be 3 episodes. And stay tuned for the next episode, which will include us travelling to central Queensland and starting our black soil and jump up country run. And we find some pretty cool animals in the next episode, so stay tuned. Thanks everyone for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe and follow our socials down below.
Really wish I could, but I know I can't explain.